So, welcome back to Japan.
Hey, we back. We are back.
We recorded a few episodes and then you went to America, right?
Yeah, I just came back. I went to America for about 2.5 weeks.
Okay, so maybe, was there anything you really noticed about differences and similarities between the two countries?
All right, well, even before we do that, let me tell you about. So I was at the airport
Yeah.
and I was leaving, and like when they got the two lines, like what is it, the visitor line or like the resident line?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so because I got the visa and the ID, I went in the resident line.
Oh.
And there was two ladies. They're like, "Oh, it's just something a little bit." I laughed. I was like, "I'm going through this line." They're like, "Oh,
Yeah, I think that happened to me too, where they were like, "Are you supposed to be here?" And then I was like, "Yeah," and I showed them like, I don't know, my card or something. Like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
Yeah. You got your resident card? I'm like, right here. They're like, "Oh, okay."
But surely that happens a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people that come here to work. I feel.
Yeah. It can't be too surprising. I don't know. Do military personnel go through that line, or do they go through a different line?
I thought it said on the signs, like all the people who qualified. But if you are military, please leave a comment on this video. Let us know.
Because we're in Osaka, and there's no military in Osaka.
There's none.
Which we like, just to tell you, just sorry.
Okay, maybe don't post a comment.
These motherfuckers. But yeah, in Tokyo, there was way too much military.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, every time we'll go out to Shibuya at night, it's just, I ain't trying to be like one of those foreigners that hate the foreigners, but it was too much military guys.
Yeah, I know there's a base in Okinawa, and every once in a while you'll read in the news like somebody got drunk and crashed a car, like they left a military base or something.
I don't know. It's just too much of a cop block for my liking. I'm like, all right. Or do they always associate me with military? So I'm like, nah.
No, do they?
I'm not military, motherfuckers.
Oh, okay.
I'm the other job that people do. I'm that other main job that every foreigner does.
Yeah, I don't know why people ask us what our jobs are. They have to know. Like, I always tell them, like, either I'm a lawyer or I'm a dentist.
Yeah, you gotta switch it up.
And they're like, and then I'll be like, well, actually, I teach English. And I'm like, but that's not really, okay. It actually is impressive to Japanese people because not a lot of them know English and not a lot of them are teachers. But to us, it seems really mundane.
Yeah.
So, okay. So how was, I guess, leaving the country? No problems?
Yeah, no problems at all, actually. The plane going to America was empty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then when I got there, so the plane from Japan to, was it like San Fran, was empty, got to stretch out. And the plane, I had to catch two more little planes to get all the way to my hometown. Those two things were fucking packed. I guess everyone was like trying to get home. I was like, God damn.
Well, you left not at the height of the coronavirus. It was like maybe a week or two after it started becoming more noticeable.
Yeah, the hype was coming.
Yeah.
But and then back home, like it's just too much panic. Like they canceled St. Patrick Day's events, and I'm like, this is bullshit, man.
Okay.
But I did get high and I tried shrooms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy? Or did they mess with you too much? It was your first time?
It was my first time. I enjoyed it, but I wanted to hallucinate, but I didn't hallucinate.
Oh, okay. Well, what happened?
I had a really good, for me, it felt like being high, but a little above being high, and my body felt very interesting.
Okay.
Like I had a lot of tingles.
Are you sure you were doing
It
shrooms?
was shrooms.
Or was someone just tickling you with a feather?
it
It felt amazing.
I was just tingling all over.
Okay, well,
Have
I
you ever
guess
done shrooms?
maybe, I don't know.
But here's the funny thing. Like I'm such a I'm so innocent when it comes to drug use. Like I thought it was just one mushroom, and you
Oh,
do it, and that's it. But
no,
no, it's like
a baggie,
Yeah, it's like a bag of dried up mushrooms, and
and they taste terrible. So I've heard.
and there's like a certain amount you have to take. Like there's different grams. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. This is like real life. Like there's not just like a random ass magic mushroom.
Yeah, like I don't know. I guess with all good drugs, you should just take as much as possible.
I guess.
Unless you're a kid listening, then please don't do that. Well, I guess that would be a big difference between Japan and America is the drug use.
I guess so.
The only real thing out here is just alcohol, I think. That's like acceptable or that people really do.
Yeah.
But everyone I've talked to who's been to America, they always say like, "You're American." I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Have you done the marijuana?" And then they're always like, "I did when I lived in America, and I think it's good." And I'll be like, "Well, do you do it here?" And they're like, "No, it's illegal here." I'm like, well, it's illegal in America too. I don't know why you thought that was okay then.
I don't know.
But yeah, the laws here are incredibly strict. I would say.
Yeah. Like they like to prosecute people over drugs more than more serious crimes.
Do you? Okay, hold on. This is a little.
All right, go ahead.
Do you remember when there was a rapist running around Osaka?
Wait, is this the one that escaped from prison?
No, he was at the what is it called? Koban, the police place.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I'm going to leave and go talk to my lawyer."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Okay." And then he just didn't come back.
He was on the run for how many? Was it over a month or a few weeks?
It was about 1 month. They found him like up towards Hokkaido, I think. Like he stole a bike and rode. I don't know how you could rode a bike up north.
Or did he go north or did he go west?
I don't know. But
cut his hair and everything. I remember.
Or he maybe died. I don't remember. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, but
like crimes and shit.
Yeah. That's one of the few crimes Japan even really talks about. Usually when there's crimes here, they don't ever mention it. Would you say?
Yeah, you gotta search for it. Like,
but
it definitely happens. But like American news, like crime is the front page.
Yeah, the focus. Like, what's happening?
Here it's like the same crime happens, but if you don't search for it, you ain't gonna find it.
Yeah. Because I remember him, and then there was like the arson of Kyoto Animation.
Yeah.
That obviously they're gonna post that because like it's a huge fire. Like you can't not see that. But they really don't talk about that much.
Unless we're just not reading the right news sites.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, actually, I don't like watching news.
Yeah.
But
okay, well, did you enjoy your time in America?
Yeah. It was definitely just seeing the family and friends, and I thought that Japanese girls' booties were coming along, and they are, but man, like back in America, I'm like, oh shit, the ass out there, man.
Yeah.
It's
one of my favorite things that happened with us about that is we were at a bar, and there was a girl wearing like big butt pants, but she had nothing to fill it out. And the whole night we just kept saying like she's not wearing those out at all. It was actually quite sad.
I know, man. She needs like some pillows in there or something.
Yeah.
I had another epitome thought when I was at, because when you're back in the States and everyone's just like you and stuff, I was like, oh, like, like sometimes when we're walking around Japan, we feel like the pressure is always on you and like everyone's looking on you.
Even when they're not. But when I ride the train, I'm always like, oh, everyone must be looking at me.
Yeah.
But they look at their phones a lot more, I think, than they actually look at you. So it might just be your idea. But Okay.
Yeah, because like that same idea, but in America, like because everyone looks like you're like, oh damn, I really am just some random motherfucker. Like no one gives a
Right.
shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. And well, like in America, people from every country live there. So
man.
where Japan is mainly Japanese.
Mm. And I wrote one more thing down. Like when I was in like back home, all my friends we all have different jobs.
Okay.
So like two of my friends are pharmacists,
Okay.
one's a cop, one's an accountant.
I see the guy selling you all the drugs. We
Yeah.
confiscated these. Here you go.
Shit, I wish. Nah. Oh, Geppo. Geppo. Burp. But I was like, the problem with Japan is like every foreigner you meet, everyone is an English teacher.
Hmm.
And that makes like the foreign community a little rough because like everyone's the same job. You know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, it's easy to talk about your problems because they all experience it, but yeah, everyone just does the same 3 English style jobs.
Yeah, there's no diversity, and sometimes that can even cause like problems because everyone's trying to move up in life. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Would you say it's hard to find an English job in Japan because all the foreigners are looking for those jobs?
I don't think it's hard. I think it's like you'll find the job easy, but like you're definitely. I mean, I guess there was a time where English was like a decent job to do.
Yeah. But I think part of that is like a lot of these companies now know there's a demand for English, so they're just like, oh, here's a new English job. Here's a new English school we're opening up.
Yeah. It's not the teachers, the companies. They took it and raped it. I don't know.
Which I'm assuming we'll have an episode just on working in Japan because there's a lot you could talk about with that subject.
Man, we might have to we have to organize our thoughts with that and get the whole list of things we want to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, like just that thing, like everyone's doing the same damn job. It's too much. Like my cop friend's not worried about what my pharmacist friend's doing at work, and my accountant friend's not worried about what my other friend.
Okay.
Here it's like, oh, we all do the same shit. It's like,
yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was about 60% worried, like he might not come back to Japan
because of the virus or because of other reasons.
Well, I was like, he might be like, oh, I don't want to go back to just English. So I was like, oh, and like in the episode 1 we did, you talked about like, oh, I think about going back sometimes, but did I really give it like my all?
I remember.
I was like, what if he was just like, screw it, I'm staying in America.
Yeah, fuck giving it all. You know, you gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to fold them. I'm folding.
Yeah, I'm folding. I'll be like, I thought you were supposed to come back this week. Like, no. I'm good.
You gotta find some new black guy to run the podcast with.
Would you say there's a large amount of black people living in Japan? I feel like I see a lot of people here. Or do you think it's mainly white, like say Americans or whatever? Do you think it's about the same percentage?
I think it's about the same. Like sometimes I've been to places where I'm like, God damn, there's like a lot of black people here. Like,
yeah.
And then sometimes, like, honestly, in my day-to-day life, like, I don't see many foreigners, black, white, Indian at all, to be honest, on my day-to-day. It's usually at night or at an area where you're expecting it that you see a huge congregation.
Of the filthy. Yeah, okay.
What about you?
Well, I try not to look for those people. I'm like, just leave me alone.
Nah, I don't see them on my day-to-day life. Not many.
Yeah. Okay, so I was thinking about a lot of things that were similar between America and Japan. And I think both countries are kind of arrogant. Would you say that?
In what way? Give me an example.
Like, I don't know. I guess maybe with this virus thing where it's like Korea got infected real bad and they're like, well, we need to do as much as possible to contain it and fix it. And China did the same thing, obviously. But America's like, well, we're America, so we really can't get hurt. But I know people are panicking, but as a country, it seems like they were just like, whatever. Same with Japan, like, oh, we closed the schools, but everyone's just out shopping or going to the park.
I don't know. The corona one's a hard example to do.
Yeah.
It's such a weird virus. I need a different example besides corona.
Well, I wish I had a better example, but I don't.
I know what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm with you.
How about this? So, say for sports or something.
Okay.
America's like, oh, we're obviously the best basketball players. We're obviously the best baseball players. And you can see a little bit of that with how people perform in the Olympics or whatever. But Japan thinks the same thing, I feel like. Even when they're not particularly good at a sport, they still think like, oh, well, we're the best.
Yeah, no, I got you. There's definitely, I guess, nationalism pride.
Yeah, well, I guess that's probably the same with most countries.
Nah.
But I feel like both of them have it exceptionally high.
Or is it just because we live?
That might be true. I don't know.
Like, remember for the Olympics, it's like Japan's only taking like the bronze or the silver, but like when it's presented out here, you think those people were winning the fucking gold.
Or this is kind of funny.
Like people going crazy. What?
Right.
I was like, wait.
They're like, we're the best.
That's third place. What's
Yeah.
going on? But the news coverage, because I guess it's the country. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. When I worked at the junior high school, they had a motivational speaker who was in the Paralympics. Like, I guess she had two, like false legs or something,
Right.
and so she was a runner. For that, and they were like, we got this amazing Olympian, and she's like, I tried my best, I ran the race, and I got 8th place. It's like, that's nothing to be proud of.
What? That's not even what? It's not even third place.
And I feel like even the kids were like, that's not very impressive, but like the school was like, oh, we did such a good job in the Olympics.
I'm mad they made her go up there and talk like that.
Yeah.
How much do they pay her to do that?
I don't know.
Speaking of, is Japan still going to have the 2020 Olympics? What's going on?
It looks like it.
Yeah, it's in August, September.
It's in August, I believe.
All right, so this all should be blown over by then.
Maybe. It seems like a bad idea to be like, there's a pandemic, let's invite the entire world to come to our one country, which is an island. Okay, well, what would be some big differences between Japan and America, you think?
Well, my stance is always that everything's the same. So my main argument's going to be arguing how much stuff's the same.
Well, yeah.
So you tell me a difference, and we can have a argument about it.
I would say the main difference that I was trying to think of for this would be like,
you better not say chopsticks and forks, motherfucker.
Okay, we have a big issue with that. Do you have like something someone said to you about chopsticks?
Just when like anytime you use chopsticks, of course, we're like, oh, you can use chopsticks?
Oh, Josu desu. And you're like, well, I use chopsticks back in America. We have Asian food. And they're like, oh, I think only Japanese. There's another arrogant thing. I think only Japanese can use chopsticks. And you're like, well, there's a lot of people around the world that do. And they're like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, the Japanese food's pretty popular around the world.
Yeah. But yeah, people... It's like real simple things. Like even if you say konnichiwa and they're like, "Oh, your Japanese is so good."
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'll also give. I have to give them points on this, but like we talked about this, there will be foreigners here that have lived in Japan for like 10 years plus, are married and have kids
yeah.
and can't speak a word of Japanese.
Yeah,
they're kind of fucking it up for everybody.
There was a guy like that at Kansai Gaida. He was a teacher. I don't know where he was from, but he had a family and he didn't understand any Japanese. And it's like,
Oh, it
isn't
was a
that
teacher at the school.
yeah? And it's
What
like,
was his what teacher? What did he
I
teach?
didn't have him,
Ah.
but it's like, isn't that embarrassing to you to not be able to understand anything? I understand language is difficult, and like especially for certain people, they have a hard time. But like, if you live here and you have a family, surely you've picked something up.
So what happens when your son gets sick and you gotta go to the hospital? What do you do?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's another difference you think?
Okay, so what I was gonna say was like, this is an obvious one. Like the way the societies are set up, Japanese society is very based on the society is what keeps things going, and American society I feel like is more like each individual is what keeps things going, where it's like people are the same, but the way they act and react within the society, I guess I would say, is different.
This is deep. We're going deep psychology here.
But you would say like people here care more about what their colleagues and neighbors think about them, where I would think Americans care a little bit about that, but they're more on like, I just want to do my own thing.
Honey.
I do not agree with that.
I'm about to think about that one. This is deep. Because sometimes I get that impression, but then when you really look at Americans, you're like, these motherfuckers are all thinking the goddamn same.
That's true. And like, this kind of goes against what I'm saying, but like, when you're talking to people at a bar, I feel like Americans and Japanese talk more similarly, but when you're out in your work environment or in a social situation, people talk differently.
Give me an example.
God, there's so many examples.
There's so many. I
didn't write any of these down.
I just gotta make sure our brains are linked up.
So you don't think people act differently depending on what country they're in a little bit?
Nah. On surface, of course, there's always like little things that you can see, but like ultimately, like inside, it's always like, oh, I'm dealing with the same motherfucker.
Okay, here. I think I got a good example.
All right.
So I feel like when Japanese people live in America, say they're studying abroad, they tend to act more American. Like they still have a lot of values from Japan, but they're trying to fit in with the American society, so they talk more like us, or they eat or do whatever.
Right.
But then when they go back to Japan, they're still concerned with the society, so they kind of go back to how they were. I feel like they don't retain any different things they did when they lived in America when they come back to Japan.
Oh yeah. I definitely feel you on that. But that go ahead.
No, okay.
But that can also go the opposite way as well. Like I know a lot of Americans that come to Japan and try to act like the most stereotypical Japanese person, like all bowing and shit. And
yeah, and that's really embarrassing because I feel like those people only look at what people are doing. They don't understand why people bow.
Right. But there's also the travel effect. I don't know if that's what it's called, but like, you know, like if you travel or not even abroad, but just go to a different city or state, you're gonna act more outgoing because you're like, I don't live here, so I can go a little more wild.
Yeah. But
I'm curious, like the travel destinations for Japanese girls, like Guam and Hawaii. I wonder is it probably easier to find and fuck a Japanese chick, a hot one, in Guam or Hawaii
than in Japan?
Because like once they go abroad, they're like, finally all that society pressure's off.
Yeah, okay, but that's kind of what I'm talking about, where it's like when they live or travel or live in another country.
Yeah.
They're less concerned with how they would have been living if they were still in Japan.
I get it. Japan is there is a societal pressure. I would definitely give it that.
Yeah. Do you feel like the society pressure is more for young people though? I feel like when you get older, people care less about what you do here.
Oh,
Because
I see what you're saying.
old men here don't care at all what you think about them.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. All right. So let's go through. Let's go through the age. So, definitely with old people, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes maybe they're pissed off because
Here's a good example of that. Me, him, and my brother were just walking down. It's called a Shoten-gai. It's like an alley, and there's a lot of restaurants and stuff. We're walking down the Shoten-gai to go to this shabu shabu restaurant, and this old man didn't bump into me. He was just. It seemed like he was just trying to walk through me. Like he's like, I don't care at all, so I'll just keep walking.
And this old guy was maybe like what, 5'8".
Yeah. And he was like grumbling and like, and
Yeah.
I go, watch out, Brandon. This old man looks pretty grumpy. And he turned back. I don't know if he understood what I said, but he understood the intent. And he gave us like a smile, like, "Oh, okay, you're cool, whatever." And then he was like, and gave me like a weird look.
That was funny as shit. I cracked up for a while.
Yeah. Would you say old people around the world are basically all the same? Even in looks, I feel like a lot of old people kind of look the same. No, even like in different countries.
Yeah, like once the skin starts going, yeah. I would say I would give Japan's old people like all old people have body issues, but some old people out here like are damn near deformed.
Some old people have, I call it like the 90-degree,
yeah,
where they're literally like a angle.
I'm like, what were you doing? What was your life job where that happened to your body?
Yeah, I know.
What was? I don't know.
But people here are more active even when they're old. Like you rarely see people rolling around in rascal scooters.
Yeah, not really.
But I wonder if that's because
I seen something that needed it though.
Well, yeah, but I wonder if that's just because it's easier to walk around and get around in Japan. In America, you need a car to do anything.
This is true. Well, this is also, you just brought up made me remember a good point. Like, the hardest thing here is, like, when people say Japan, what they're really talking about is city life. We're in Tokyo, we're in Osaka.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that come to Japan aren't from a big city. Like, yeah. I'm not from New York. I'm not from Chicago. I don't even know many people. How many foreigners do you know that are actually from the city? We have one from college, Chai.
Oh yeah,
he was from the city.
Honestly, I can't really think of any.
Most are from like
small towns mainly.
So that brings up a question: when are people mainly thinking about Japan, or are they thinking about city life?
Okay.
So that's what I always think. Like, I'm always like, all right, am I talking about Japan or am I talking about the city?
Well, okay. Here's the thing I was thinking about. So we live in Osaka, which is just like, well, other than the aesthetics, pretty much a American city.
Yeah.
But is it weird when you hear traditional Japanese music like the ding 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 ding? It throws me off every time I hear that because I'm so used to J-pop and I'm so used to just city life.
Yeah.
When I hear that, I'm like, oh wait, I am in Japan and like this is how the music used to sound. Does that kind of freak you out a little bit too when you hear or see people dressed old style? It definitely
sounds like out of place. Like, right, what's going on here? Like,
where you're seeing like a pachinko parlor or something, and then you hear like traditional music, it kind of doesn't fit.
Yeah. Like, what's going on? This ain't Kyoto. What's going on here?
Okay. So overall, would you say America and Japan are more similar or different? It sounds like you're saying more
I
similar.
would say more similar.
Do you mean society-wise or just people, or what do you mean?
Every aspect.
Okay.
Yes. I go hard with it.
I kind of go back and forth because I don't know. I feel like Japanese people really want that national identity. But that's the same with America, I guess. The USA thing.
Yeah.
So, I guess they're more similar. Would you say there are any big differences?
The biggest difference I can think of is in society. And long pause. I can't. Nothing.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We'll.
Let me tell you about this other story. Wait, was this the story I wanted to say on the podcast? Okay, so I was out with some.
Here we go.
I was out with some Japanese friends, and they were doing a Gokon thing.
Oh, hold on. What is that?
Okay, let me explain. The Gokon is the experience when you'll have a certain number of guys and a certain number of girls, and it's kind of like a meet up and dating thing.
Like a forced dating.
Yeah, yeah. So you have, like, for example, you have 4 guys, 4 girls that don't know each other. Well, mainly the guys might know each other and the girls might know each other, but the guys and girls don't know each other.
Right. Okay.
And then there's food, there's drinks for like an hour, 2 hours.
Okay.
And they try to see if they can hit it off, and something could happen that night, something could happen in the future.
Okay.
So this one guy sets it up, and it's not organized at all.
Okay. Sorry to break this,
No, go ahead,
but
go
would
ahead.
you say there's like a lack of organization with things here?
It's surprisingly
Like
disorganized.
Like with everything in Japan, I feel like it's like structure. You do this, this happens. If you do this, this happens. But then, like at work, no one there's no organization. I feel like, but that'll be a different topic.
Yeah,
I could rant for a few hours about that.
Like a lot of stuff is like just like I guess you can even say you could get away with a lot of stuff because it's just not organized.
Right? Yeah. But okay, so what is it? Gokon?
Yeah. So it after like an hour and a half it ends, and it's like maybe like $200. So you have to divide between people. And people just like grab their dollars and just throw it in like this big ass pile.
That is true, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then like,
who's keeping track of all this?
And so like the guy just grabs up a handful and hands it to like the bartender.
Yeah.
And the bartender's like looking like, what the fuck are you doing? Like at least organize the money.
Was it wet from like all the drinks?
Nah, that wasn't wet. That'd be funny. So finally, the only 4 in the group, was like, all right, let's at least organize the fucking dollar bills.
Yeah.
And then after that, we go to another bar, the gun place.
Yeah. There's no gun. Are guns illegal in Japan? I think so. But I think you can get a gun license, but maybe, I don't know. Okay, but this place isn't real guns. This is like pellets.
What's real gun? Nah, it's not real guns.
I shouldn't have aimed it at you then.
And so we go there. This is the main part I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
So the bill comes to like $200.
Yeah.
American.
Oh.
But, and then like the main guy is like this Japanese guy, but he's kind of older and kind of a loser.
Oh, wait, do I know this guy?
Nah.
Oh, a different loser?
And so the other Japanese guys are kind of just with him.
Okay.
Because he has money.
Yeah.
And so they all looked at him like, you're paying.
Oh, okay.
But that's not the main part. The main part I was trying to get to is when the lady came and gave you the check.
Yeah.
She did it so coldly.
Mm.
Because, a $200 check, you kind of want to like sashay, give
Mm.
it like here you go.
Yeah.
She was just like, there you go, $200, and she walked away.
Mm.
And you know, sometimes with us, if we get a high bill, we always have that feeling like, well, are they doing that because we're foreign?
Okay,
So
yeah.
this is
Sure.
what I'm trying to get to. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
like, oh, they do it to each other too. It's just
Yeah. Something like that kind of happened with me. Me and my dad were in Fukuoka
yeah.
to watch the sumo tournament, which if you ever get an opportunity to see sumos live, it's the greatest experience ever. Not for the athletics, but just to see fat men slap each other and to see old drunk men shouting at these people who are just trying to do their job. But we went so everyone I talked to was like, oh, if you go to Fukuoka, you gotta try some nabe. Nabe is like kind of a soup.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but it's like a special one. And this makes me so mad. And it really shouldn't, but there's a menu at the table, and then they go, oh, this person's not a Japanese person. Here's the foreign menu.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, first of all, I can't learn Japanese with this. Like, how am I going to learn Japanese if it's all in English? Second of all, like, the menus are different. So typically the Japanese one's easier to read. But, so I'm looking at the English, I almost said foreign menu, English menu. I'm looking at the Japanese menu, and I see, like, the prices are different.
What? It was different.
And I was like, I talked to the waitress. I was like, why are these different? And she goes, they're not different. And she got, like, really mad at me.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, but the numbers are different.
Was the foreign one more expensive? The
Yeah.
English?
Yeah. So I ordered from the Japanese menu as if that made a difference. But yeah, like I don't. But that might be our perception. Like the numbers were clearly different, but maybe like one was without tax, maybe one was with tax. I have no idea. But
okay, well I'm warming up now. I don't have big differences, but I do have micro differences. So all right, here's another one.
okay,
So tell me if this happens where you live in America.
it does.
If you go to if you go to like a convenience store, right, and your bill comes to like $5.25,
okay, yeah,
and you have $5.24,
yeah,
but you know how you like give the little wallet flash, like I have more money,
but
I only have $5.24, and I don't feel like breaking this money
yeah,
to get a lot of fucking change back.
yeah,
The person usually goes, "I got you, man."
yeah.
In Japan, that will not happen.
Yeah.
No matter how comfortable you get with a place. If you have, so I bet many times I've been like, the bill will be 35-45 cents.
Yeah.
I'll have $100 bill and maybe like 44 cents.
Okay.
So I have the money,
yeah.
but I'm like, I don't have a freaking penny. And the waiter will just look at you and go, "Well, what are you gonna do?" Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. I guess give me all that fucking change.
Yeah. Okay. Where I work below it, there's like a grocery store.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they're always impatient, even when you're like getting the money out. And Japan is still very much a cash culture. They have kind of apps now, like it's called PayPay or something. One of them's called Origami Pay, and I'm like, come on, that sounds like even racist. But it's like obviously Japanese, but like, so I'm getting the money out, and the guy's like, 8 more cents, 8 more yen. I'm like, you see me getting the money? It's like, it's 8 more. He keeps going, 8 more. I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You see my damn change purse, motherfucker.
I love how at first we were like, oh no, both societies are the same, and then we get into a little bit like it's completely different.
He got warm up. All right, well, here's also a thing. This is picking back off you were saying with the menu.
Yeah.
In Japan, like, I guess a lot of people have a hard time learning Japanese because all right, so in America, we're kind of I guess like, hey, you're speaking English or fuck you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we kind of force our foreigners to learn English.
Yeah.
But through that, people learn English because it's like, well, we're speaking English or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Japan, it's like, ultimately, they need you to speak Japanese. But they'll pretend and keep messing like, just English is okay.
Yeah.
Here's an English menu. But then, like, when something serious happens or you gotta go to the bank, there's no fucking English person there. So you're like, why the fuck were you guys being so kind with these little English things?
Yeah.
But when it really matters, there's no English.
Yeah, but I feel...
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel like Japanese people get suspicious of you if you know more English than they think you should.
I'm in Japanese, so you think you should?
Oh. Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah.
Never mind. What I'm saying is completely wrong.
No. You're
No,
right.
no. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I get it. You made a joke.
If you mess up while you're coming up with stuff off the top of your head, it doesn't count.
It don't matter.
Go on. I wish I would have gotten to this more with the last, with the first episode we did. One time I was at a restaurant, and this was the first year I actually lived and worked in Japan. So I was trying so hard to fit in. I was like, I'm going to do all the aisatsu, the greetings at the, like, coming to the junior high school. Ohayo gozaimasu.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything you guys told me to do. And then one time I was at a restaurant, a local place, and I was like, I was pretty good. And I mean, I'm kind of shy or whatever. My Japanese isn't perfect, so I kind of don't want to mess up. But I was like, okay, I'm going to say gochiso-sama desu to the waitress or whatever.
Yeah.
As you should, or as Japanese people are expected to do. So I said it to her, and she, like, freaked out on me. Like, why do you know that? How do you know gochiso-sama desu? And she was, so I said, gochiso-sama desu, and she went, Kya!
What? Yeah, tell me this.
Screamed right in my face.
This was in Kawagoya?
Yeah, and I was so shocked, like, does that require a scream into my face? But it was one of those things where it's like, I'm trying so hard to fit in with your society, but you kind of just don't even think I can.
Yeah. That's a popular phrase you'll hear. Where did you hear that word? Like, it's a freaking word, man. What do you fucking think?
And
where do you think I heard it?
And this word is so obvious that we should know it. It's in the first page of the textbook. It's like, konnichiwa, konbanwa, ohayo, gochiso-sama desu.
Every textbook.
But I guess she didn't read the textbook.
She did not know, but yeah, it's like, what?
And here's another good example of, even when you speak Japanese, they kind of, it's like even when you're perfect, they don't understand you somehow.
Yeah, this can happen sometimes. This happens.
So I worked at this junior high school, and I rode my bike around town after work just to get the layout of the new city I was living in. And it was getting dark, and my phone was about dead, and it was going to start raining, and I was like, oh no, I got to get home before it gets too dark. I don't want to get stuck out here. That'd be embarrassing. Like, why didn't you come to work? I got lost. Got stuck in the rice.
Show the next day, we're all wet. Like, I don't know.
So Google Maps, first of all, does not work at all in Japan. It just, like, go backwards, now go forwards, now go in a circle. So it's like, you should go through all these rice fields. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go a different route than it tells me because I don't know the city at all. So I'm going through the rice field. They have like these paths carved out so you can go through. And at some point, I got real scared. I was like, I don't know what's going on at all.
Like pitch black and shit?
Yeah, it was dark. It was starting to rain. I was real worried. And I saw some junior high school kids maybe coming towards me, so I said, like, Nishikawa eki wa doko desu ka? And they're like, no English. And I'm like, Nishikawa eki wa doko desu ka? And they're like, ego wakaranai yo. And I'm like, but does Nishikawa eki doko desu ka sound like English to anybody? Like, and it was one of those things where I was like freaking out because I was lost. And I was also really pissed off because I was like, why can't they understand their own language? But yeah,
it's frustrating because you're like, and then like you go back, you're like, do I not know how to say something? Like
yeah,
you start researching the word, like, wait, I said that perfectly fine.
yeah,
It's just like I guess they literally do just look at you and go like, there's no way he could speak.
yeah.
Whereas
Well,
American, we're
yeah,
like, oh, you said hi? All right, I'm going to speak all to you in English, motherfucker.
yeah. Well, I think one of them was like, I think he's speaking Japanese. And I was like, yes, I've been speaking Japanese.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I guess they didn't know where this. I don't know how you could not know. It wasn't a big town. But somehow I made it back.
Speaking Japanese?
Yeah. Wait. Oh, hold on. You just said something that was a good point, and I can't remember what I was going to say. What did you just say?
I said, just in their head, they don't comprehend that you can know
Oh,
it. Is that
okay.
Yeah.
So I used to work at a place called Sam's Club, which is not a good place to work.
Oh.
Actually, it's a great place to work. Please don't sue us.
Those motherfuckers.
So we had a lot of Mexicans shopping because they have restaurants or whatever, very popular in Indiana. But when I saw them, I'd be like, I don't know if they speak English or not, but I'll wait until they talk to me to understand if they do or if they don't.
Uh-huh.
But here it's more like, well, there's no way he could speak. But
absolutely no way.
So,
and have you ever had a situation where like you'll speak Japanese, the person hears you speaking Japanese, but he's going to try to kick it up to like slang, or he's going to try to do something to make it
just
difficult for you,
just
like
to
at
prove,
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell them about like how McDonald's people do it. Like if you go to McDonald's and like
Makudo Naruto.
I go there a lot. I should have the point card, but I don't. But
yeah.
I should have the point card.
You could have so many free sandwiches by now.
And so, like, I know the menu style, how to order, the flow. And every once in a while, you'll get, like, the cashier that will ask you 8 different questions.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you're speaking Japanese too good. He just wants to try to, or she will just try to get you.
Yeah.
To make you go, huh? Like, yeah.
And the reason this throws you off, like, is because typically they won't say anything.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll say something and it's like, but I wasn't expecting you to respond differently than I'm used to. So you have to think for a little bit and they're like, I got him.
And it's always like something stupid like, do you want a straw with your drink? Like, what the fuck?
It's like, yeah, just don't it.
Do you want 2 napkins or 3? Like, what the hell's going like, what?
Yeah.
Trying to get me. Trying to catch me slipping.
Yeah. Yeah, they're always trying to get us.
There is a sneaky pride thing in there. I wouldn't say what's the word, pride.
Well, okay.
Not a pride. What's the word?
Here's this isn't not a good example because it's with a teenager and they're all assholes. All teenagers are jerks around the world.
Yeah.
So I'll do this thing with one of my classes where we play a card game, Babanuki. Which is old maid in English, where before you draw a card from someone, you have to ask them a question in English to force them to talk to each other in English. But sometimes I'll switch it up and I'll be like, all right, this round is all Japanese, just to make like, oh, we're having fun. It's not too serious. And one kid the other day, he thought he was being slick, so he spoke really quickly. And he said, like, do you like yourself? In Japanese. And it took me a little bit to process that. And then I was like, oh no, I don't like myself at all. And he goes, oh, I thought you were a narcissist. And I was like,
when? He said narcissist in English?
Well, he said, narcissist da to omota. And it was like, what about me sounds like I'm a narcissist? I'm so nice to you every day, and you're a complete asshole.
Yeah, interesting. That's weird.
That's not a cultural thing. It's just like, it's just kind of a funny story.
Yeah, that's funny though. Yeah, middle schoolers are just the worst. Man. They're. It's a weird age.
Well, it's so weird because young kids don't know you're different than them. Like a 3-year-old isn't gonna go, oh, he looks different than me, so he must be a different person.
Yeah.
But then they get older and they just become jerks. But then you go back down to teens, and sometimes they're cool.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a hump where it's like, ugh, I don't want to talk to these kids in English or Japanese.
I just don't want to be bothered with these motherfuckers.
Which that's probably another similarity. I mean,
Yeah, it's more, I guess, all around. It's like just preteens is so weird because
Preteens
they're
is
going
the
through
worst.
puberty and shit. It's like I don't got time for what's happening to your body right now, kid.
Yeah.
I don't.
yeah, it's like, but even if you're nice to them, they're still jerks to you a lot of the time. It's like, I have to be much more lenient than your actual teachers.
Yeah, that's
like,
the word.
give me a little, give me something.
Oh yeah, because like I was talking to a teacher at my new workplace at Ayakawa, and he's a young guy. Well, he's 26, so to me he's young, because I'm 29 now.
Oh,
I'm getting old.
You're a GG.
Yeah. And so he's only been working in Japan for 2 years, and it's been the same job for the whole 2 years.
Okay.
And like I've done the teaching gauntlet. I've done the job gauntlet. And if you name it, I've done it. And so like we were just talking, and I was telling him like, you know, at Ayakawa they always want you to be like always watching the kids, making sure they're okay. You gotta go. You have to do way more than a regular Japanese teacher.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, like, man, I worked at an ALT at a regular school, and it's 40, 50-minute classes. And then the teachers, they fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
And they let the kids do
Whatever.
anything
Yeah.
unsupervised from,
A 10-minute period.
from first grade to high school.
Yeah.
The teachers don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Those kids are out running about, climbing jungle
They're
gyms.
climbing. Yeah.
The first time I went to one, I was scared. I was like, is anyone watching these kids? And they were like, what the fuck? You sit down. I'm like,
Yeah, like, we're going to the teacher's lounge. What are you talking about? Yeah, if you ever see a weird picture... God, there's so many weird pictures from Japan, and they're all from junior high schools, I feel like. But it's just because during that 10 minutes between classes, you can just do whatever you want.
Whatever. But at Ayakawa, because we're foreigners, we have to watch them, because if something bad happens with us, all hell's gonna break loose. Now, at the Japanese schools, kids have broken their legs, gotten in fights, and parents don't give a shit.
What is it? What is it where they stand on each other and they make the pyramid?
Human pyramid?
Yeah, I forget what that's called.
I think it's just
Kumitaiso?
pyramid?
Pyramido? They do this for like sports day.
Oh, you're talking about the 3-person one.
Well, there's different. They make different shapes.
Oh, okay.
But it's so dangerous that kids will fall like 10, 15 feet, break their legs, and they're like, well, we still got to perform. So get going.
Let's just know, because like if that happens at an Ayakawa, it's our fucking ass.
It's your fault, even if you're not even working that day. It's like, why weren't you watching them?
But if it's all Japanese, hey, who gives a shit?
Even with the corona thing, like, we have to check their temperature, make sure they're wearing a mask, make sure they're not coughing. The Japanese teachers don't seem to do this. It's the foreign teachers that are like asking the parents, did you check them? Did you do this? Did you do this? And then like manager might come into your classroom. Did you check every student that came in here? And it's like, I've been teaching for 20 minutes. I'm not out there. And it's like, well, you need to go out and check everybody.
Like, motherfucker, you go out there and check them. Shit.
Okay.
Are we over time here? We're supposed to keep it at like 30 minutes.
Oh, we're going up to the hour mark, it looks like.
Are we might have to cut some out. How you want to do it?
We'll split it up, maybe.
Oh, okay. We started getting real hot at the end here.
Well, yeah. The first part of this is going to be really boring. Like, oh, I think everyone's wonderful. And then the end's going to be like, I fucking hate everyone.
Yeah. I don't know. We might even just have to cut out the first. We could just like cut out the first half. Maybe.
I'll see. I'll give it a listen. I'll check it out.
I mean, we're going to do 100 of these, so might as well just keep it actually going, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone can. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's
We're
wrap it
getting
up.
back in the flow too.
Yeah. Okay. I guess let's wrap it up. So. Whew. All right. So I
Japan,
guess.
pussy, blood money.
So I guess our thoughts on this are people are very similar everywhere, but the way they act in certain situations are probably different. Well, depending, I don't know.
There's no one answer. There's no true.
Yeah, and this is all just
Only
stories.
a Sith talks in absolutes. Only a Sith.
And these are all just stories, anyways. So it's like maybe you have a different experience in America or Japan. I don't know.
These are true.
Basically, keep watching. We'll give you more content.
Yeah, we will give you more content, and you will.
You will pay us.
Yeah.
We don't want to teach anymore. Please give us some money.
Give us all the money.
But I feel like teaching is a good way to get crazy stories.
This is true. Hit that like button below. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, and donate to our Patreon. We'll give you a shout out.
Join our website.
Yeah, and make us a website and join it. And
Go to our GoFundMe page.
Buy our merch and
don't forget download Go Momonga's new hit song.
they got so many good songs.
Who are those guys?
I don't know. They should be more popular. All right. Well, see you later.
See ya.